Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live with Roxy on this Sunday, September 21st. Oh, it's my high school boyfriend's birthday. On a list of things that don't matter and are not relevant to me anymore. I guess that is one of them. My computer I use at home is a PC. This is a Mac, and it is breathing heavy right now. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Let me know. As always, a little business up top, some housekeeping. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrata. This entire channel is fan funded. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Sometimes these caps are so thin now, which is good because they're using less plastic, but it's so hard to grip onto it. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrata. Super chat in. Creators tend to prefer Streamlabs because they take a much smaller percentage. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Just clocked the date and remembered something. Does that ever happen to you? All of a sudden I was like, forgot to do anything. Anybody else? Okay. Oh my God. So I just remembered that today is not an easy day for a friend of mine. And I just said, just clock the date. You doing okay? And they wrote back, not to make you feel bad, but I didn't notice. Okay. Well, so anyway. It's a good start to the show. I am in my dad's office right now. For those of you guys who have not seen me here, this is where I am, and I am back east. This will be my only show from back here, I think. Yeah. And on Wednesday, I think I'm going to have to move the show to a different night because I'm flying back. But I actually get in. I think I might be able to still do Wednesday, but from back west because get in, I think, at like 7 o'clock. So I could do a late night show. Brittany says, oof. Oof is right, my girl. Oof. That's what you get for trying to be on top of shit. And maybe it's not a huge anniversary though, so it's okay. It's okay. My friend will forgive me. So I'm back here for a few days. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, I've been trying to get back home for an entire month, but then Grammy had COVID, and then, or Grammy's caretaker first had COVID, so I stayed, and then Grammy got COVID, so I stayed, and then I got COVID, so I stayed, and then Grammy was still sick, so I stayed, and then I was having to do work for Rejects, so I stayed, and now I finally made it back home. But I feel like sometimes I'm just like extremely not present because when I'm here, I really feel like I should be there. When I'm there, I really feel like I should be here. So I got back here, and the day that I was leaving, Grammy was she's still so sick. And so I'm just really, really frustrated with that. Like, I know that the recovery period when you're 98 is significantly different than when you are 34, or than when you're 70, or then when you're 80, but she is still just like doesn't have a voice, coughing up a storm, doesn't have her appetite. And so I feel like I should be with her, especially because tomorrow night is the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. And I hate not being with her. I'm on the phone with her constantly, and I'm FaceTiming constantly, and I'm texting with one of our caretakers, both of them constantly. And I just feel, and also same thing with the woman I'm the conservator to, and her dog is not well right now and she needs extra support. And she just had this surgery. And I'm just every single day talking to them 100 times a day. And I just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be there. But when I'm there, I feel like my whole life is passing me by here, like my niece. I've been trying to come see my niece, who's like my world, and I love her. And she's now 9 months, and so today is, uh, yesterday she'd been out of the womb as long as she'd been inside the womb, which is so crazy. And she's bigger, and she's learned to do things. And she said her first words, and I wasn't here. And she learned to clap, and I wasn't here. And it's not just her, like my brother and his wife, and my sister and my dad, and my grandma here, my grandma who, I haven't seen in almost a year. And it's just, wherever I am, I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else, which is a really weird way to live. I don't know if anybody can kind of relate to that at all, but it's like, I think because I'm the only one in my family and the only one of my friends from high school that left and stayed gone, it constantly feels like I have a whole world back here that everybody is still living but me. And I've made a whole life for myself in LA that nobody is living but me. So I feel very needed there, but it's just a very, very strange feeling. I'll give you guys some more specifics, but just I'm having I know every time I come home, I feel like I'm very pensive about this kind of stuff. I'm just having kind of like, what is the right thing to do, and how often can I come back here? And will I feel guilty like this every time that I do? And it's super expensive now. And as I told you guys the last show, I think I just lost another job, which is fucking brutal. But also, what can I expect? This is the life I chose. This is the industry I chose, and I'm a freelance girl. And jobs come and they come and they go and they come and they go, and you just kind of have to keep it pushing. But it doesn't make it really suck any less. And yeah, just a lot. Relatable at all? Not relatable. Do any of you guys leave home and feel this way? Or are any of you guys still home and feel like you're not supposed to be there? Or do you feel like you're exactly where you're supposed to be? I feel like I hear from a lot of people like, don't feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, but then when they're there, they do feel like they are. I just feel like both places kind of feel right and wrong. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about it. Okay, so going to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's see what it is that you guys are talking about in here. What's the word, hummingbirds? What's the story, morning glory? What's the tale, nightingale? Did you hear about Hugo and Kim? Did they really get pinned? Is that their names? In the Streamlabs on did I read the Luke Smith one last time? Yeah, I think right before we ended. RQMDSMD today started us off. Thank you, RQMDSMD. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hi, Roxy. Just sending in some early support. Your niece is so cute. Glad you're having a good trip. She is, I don't want to be biased, but she's the cutest kid that ever lived. So it's crazy. We all have very dark hair. She has this really light hair, and she's got the lightest blue eyes that are just like so piercing and wild. And she has a dimple and the cutest smile, and she's so happy and so inquisitive and observant. And I just like feel better when I'm holding her. She's so cute. Like, it's so nice to have her just in my arms or bouncing on my knee or like tossing in the air. It feels like she is, I think because the world is such a weird, dark place sometimes, like looking at her, she's just so light and beautiful. And it's so fulfilling to be with her. And I don't feel anything but loved by her. You don't feel like judged or hated or like you're annoying somebody or whatever. You just feel like they just love you. And it's such a good feeling. My dad, not my dad, my brother and his wife are doing an amazing job with her, which is just so great. They're such great first time parents. And yeah. So let me tell you guys about what I've been doing since I've been here, which will kind of like make you help understand why all of this is going on in my head at one time. And you guys can ask me any questions. I've also been watching TV. It is Sunday, so I have things I want to talk about. I'm watching Love Island Games. I've never watched that before. My sister said it's really weird that I'm watching that, and I haven't seen most seasons of Love Island, but I like watching competition shows, so it's kind of cool to see them compete. I haven't started Tulsa King yet, but I think I probably will watch that by tomorrow because I'm going on Christian Harloff's show tomorrow because he asked me to go on Monday this week instead of Tuesday. So I'm doing that. I also watched Gen V. I've only seen 2 episodes, but really loving that. Trying to think of recommendations that are not on the Disney platform so that I can give Prime and Paramount and Peacock and all of that because of what's happening with Kimmel. So yeah, I got to do some recommendations like that. Okay, what is going on with you guys? Like I said, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chatting, questions, comments, concerns. Thank you for being with me on this Sunday night, the 21st night of September. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I don't know what the words are. Yeah. Something to remember. Yeah. Dancing in September. Yeah. Never crowd away. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Okay. Instead of just singing at you guys, shall I attempt to tell you about my week? So I got in and I saw on Friday, it was the day I got in. And on Friday I went to my brother and my sister-in-law's school, their teachers. I went to their elementary school to talk about what I do for my career. I talked about my brother and what he was like as a kid. I talked about what I do as an actress, and nothing will humble you faster than talking to a group of people that are aged 5 to 11, 5 to 11, who, okay, like, let me tell you about some of my interactions with these kids. So it was a group of 90 kids, and they're all sitting on these like risers asking me questions. And they were like, first question, hi, were you in Mean Girls? And I was like, no. Another one shouted, you could so be Regina George. I said, oh my God, thank you. And they said, I didn't mean that nicely. Okay. The next one was like, were you in High School Musical? I was like, no, I wasn't. They were like, oh, okay. Like, okay. They're like, so name all the movies you've been in. I've probably been in like 6 movies at this point, but I don't think you guys have seen any. And they're like, name them anyway. I was like, okay. And then I started naming them. They're like, we don't know those. I was like, I know. They were like, how old are you? Are you older than Jet or younger than Jet? And I was like, what do you guys think? And they were like, younger. And I was like, yes. And they were like, 41. It's like, okay, no. And then one of them was like 41. And I said, no. And then he said 18. And I was like, oh, okay. So you have no concept. And he said, I don't know, but you're so old that you have a wrinkle for every star on the American flag. Humbled. And I was like, okay. They were like, can you cry on command? I was like, I can. Let me teach you guys a trick. And then I taught them, if you keep your eyes open, you go like this, and you can start crying. And they loved that. And then they all pretended to cry for like an hour. They were going to their stations, like all doing this. And then one of them was like, Your brother says that you just went to the after party for the Emmys. Can I see the dress that you wore? And I said, yeah. So I showed it to him and he said, I'd look better in it. And I said, that's really nice. And he was like, I would. It's like, okay. He was like, it really doesn't look good on you. It's a pretty dress, but you are not wearing it. It's like, cool. They're like, how many subscribers do you have? I was like, well, one of the channels I work for has like 1.5 million subscribers. And they were like, oh. And the teachers behind them were like, that's huge. They were like, I watch. And then they named like channels I've never heard of that apparently are massive for kids. So it was hysterical. And then I did arts and crafts with them. We made paper bag puppets. And I was like, oh my God, kids don't give a fuck about your feelings. Yeah, you have to be a Project Runway judge for sure. I was like, he was saying the craziest stuff. Because then my brother was like, show him the other red carpet outfits that you've worn. And then I showed him the purple one that my brother hated that put me on the worst dress list because it was the next in line in the photos that I had. And he was like, oh. Just like grunted. I was like, so you don't like it? And he was like, it's hideous. Like, that's nice. Okay. It was so funny. Okay, in the super chat, Streamlabs, let's see. Robert Presser says, I'm sorry you're going through all that. Oh my God. Maybe you don't mean the kid stuff. Maybe you mean the like never feeling in the right place. And I'm grateful. Thank you for that support. And it's not like I feel awful about it. I'm in a good place in life. It's just, it's so hard when my two worlds are so opposite and in different places. I'll keep telling you more about that. Leonard Kim in the Streamlab says, I'd argue that you're the one who's living because you moved away from the country to pursue your dreams. Thank you. I've always felt like we do ourselves a disservice in life by staying in one place for most of all of our lives. Granted, not everyone has the means to do so, totally, or the capability to do so, you know. Not every city is set up perfectly for every person's abilities and whatnot. And it's not that I don't feel like I'm living, it's that I feel like I'm literally living two lives at the same time or trying to. Roger in the super chat says, what your view of adolescence, both the acting and filming style? I could see you in Aaron Doherty role. I thought that the show was amazing. I think it's the best show of the year. And I thought the performances were incredible. And the filmmaking was even more impressive. The oneers is like how they did that in real time and changing locations so drastically. Just the prep that goes into that, unbelievable. So couldn't recommend it enough. So glad that it got as much love as it did at the Emmys. It definitely deserved that. Really, really good. So that was on Friday. And then on Saturday, let's see, what did I? Never enough time back here, but you know, you take what you can get. That was Friday night. I just hung with my siblings at my dad's house and ate food and I'd see my niece and stuff. Saturday, I did something really fun. Have you guys ever heard of the Red Bull diving competition? Have you ever heard of that? So this was an absolute blast. My sister lives in Boston, so we went into the city and we went onto the water and watched this huge contest called the Red Bull Diving Contest. And people from all around the world, all different countries, come and they dive off of the Contemporary Arts Museum 90 feet up into the water in Seaport, into the ocean, to the Atlantic. And they do like stylized diving. So people were doing handstands and then diving in, flips and turns in the waters, and then they get big scores. And there was thousands and thousands of people watching it. Starts at 10 a.m. and went until 2 p.m. And it was so much fun. I can't recommend it enough. If you live in Boston or if you live close enough, if you're looking for a fun time to visit Boston, September's already a great time because it's beautiful in the city in September. But it it was really great to be able to spend the morning with my sister. And, we grabbed like a White Claw and went and sat on the water and watched people dive. And it was like people that were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all on boats and on docks and on land and on like in a quad area, all watching these divers drinking and hanging and shouting, and it was so much fun. So that was really cool. And DJ had taken Only Stupid Answers off this week anyway, so we ran a pre-tape, I think. So it was so much fun. Sorry, I'm a little tie-tie. It was so much fun because I have not been sleeping well. I haven't been sleeping well, not because I haven't been actually falling asleep, but I've been waking up so early to get my work done because I want to get all my work done before I can start the day. And it's already so late here, and I'm 3 hours earlier. So anyway, so we did that. And then her friend from college was in town, so they came to meet us, and we went to get seafood at this place called Bark and Crab, which is an awesome seafood place on the water. I got a clam chowder and a couple oysters, and it was so fun. And then I went from there and I Ubered to go to see my niece. I wanted to go see her, and I went shopping with my brother and my sister-in-law, my niece. We didn't buy anything. We just like walk around because my niece likes to walk around the outdoor mall and stuff, and it was really fun, and got to spend time with her and feed her and hang with her. And then I was getting dinner with my girlfriends from high school and one of my guy friends. So we went in the suburbs, we went to this place, and it was like, it's so odd because these are my best friends forever, like, and will be forever and have been forever, like I'm one of them I've known since I was 7. The other one since I was 12, 13, like so young. And they all have children, and they've all been married for like almost a decade. I went to and was in their weddings. And 2 of them of the girls, there's 3 girls and 1 guy I went with. But all 3 girls have 2 kids and husbands that 2 of their husbands went to high school with us. And one of them, of the girls, one of them didn't, but she has known him for like 10 years now, longer. And my guy friend has 1 kid and is working on a second. So just a lot of, they have babies, and 2 of the girls only work part-time, and the one who works full-time, it's like she's really hurt. Like, not that she doesn't have a boss, but she has such goodwill with the company. She kind of like can make her own hours more. And just long story short, I feel like so different than everybody I love. And like, I don't even know, like, I'm so interested in what they're doing, and I have so many questions for them. But when you're with people that you love, but it's different than being with people that you're relating to in that moment. And they all are relating to each other. They're all asking each other about school stuff and camp stuff and activities, and they're all on group threads together and see each other often, and they are all in lockstep with each other and talking about daycare versus whatever help versus sickness versus mortgages, and they all own homes within a couple miles of each other, and their homes are like insane and gorgeous. And I am not in that position, and I'm single, and I don't have kids, and I work so many hours, and it's just like, I don't know, it can feel very isolating, even though I'm so happy for them and so proud of them, and they're such beautiful people and they're doing such great stuff, that it just feels strange. But they're the ones that I feel like I can really be myself, in terms of like, I don't have to put on a show or an act, and I don't want anything from them. They don't want anything from me, and I'm just like me. As opposed to them when I go to LA, where I feel like it's all newer friendships, and I always have to be on and trying and can't just like be myself. But I relate to the hustle and the dream and the drive, and more people there are single and don't have children. Although most of my friends are still all starting to be married with children too, but it's just completely different. Like they're two different worlds. And I try to fit into both when I really don't fit into either. And I try to like play in both when I really feel like I'm just not to be like, oh, all self-indulgent, but like there's just nobody totally like me or in my position in my life. So just this kind of odd feeling sometimes. And then my guy friend and I got drinks after dinner last night because I wanted to keep catching up with him, and all my girlfriends had to go home because parent life. And it was so nice to like kind of just be one-on-one with him because he used to work in the entertainment industry and he has a full understanding of what I do. And he was able to ask me like questions about what I do, or what's going on at work. Like, what's up with this? What's up with that movie you did? What's up with this thing? What's up, whatever. And like, then I felt more like, okay, like somebody does see me and knows me well enough to ask me about my career, and my career is my life. So that was at least like, I mean, the whole thing was so nice and so lovely, and I love seeing my friends. I love being with them. And afterwards, I even texted them. I was like, I just love you guys so much, because I do. It's just hard to always feel so like misunderstood slash like I don't belong in any world fully. And I partially belong in a lot of worlds, but I also, as you guys know, I grew up around like very, very grew up around a lot of affluence and a lot of like what do you call jobs like doctor, lawyer, accountant, very professional jobs like that. So people here really like at certain ages, you buy the house, you have the mortgage, you have the kids, just very, very like more white picket fence, I guess is how I would describe it. So it just feels like not my world at all anymore, even though it seems like a beautiful world. It's just like I'm not part of it. It's a lot of likes I've been saying. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. That's me. Questions, comments, concerns, and then I'll tell you about today. Mike Joyce in the Streamlabs says, I think you mentioned recently you run socials for many places. Do you do more than Real Rejects and AfterBuzz TV's social media? And if so, are you able to tell us who else you do socials for? Yeah, I don't run AfterBuzzes anymore because that was a job that I lost a while ago. But I did run theirs for a while, and I've run so many different people's for a while. But I've like a lot of times people will hire me on, and in my contracts I'm like consulting, and I can't say where or what it's for. But I think I can give you some stuff. So let's see. This isn't social, but I do I would refer to this as social because it's like clip outs and time codes and all of that for Katie Sackhoff's podcast. And then I send them, and then they clip it out into socials and YouTube. But I do like all the titles and time codes and listen to the episodes and things like that. I think I'm allowed to say that. So that would be one of them. Yeah, and then like people will bring me on for like a couple weeks or a month or whatever to kind of revamp or strategize. I help a lot of friends with stuff too. And that's a little bit of the answer. But I'm just constantly losing so many jobs. It's not even losing, it's like the contracts are up or whatever. Uki, thank you for the question, Mike Joyce. Sam says, huh? Was what I said confusing? Did I say it weird? Sam, huh? Huh to you. Huh to you. Huh? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Thank you for the support coming in. We've got Scuba Steve in the house. Thank you. Said, hey, Roxy. Tipped on Christian Harloff this week, but it was missed. Oh, really? That sucks. What day? Congrats on getting picked for the Apple Emmy party. I feel you being single and everyone around you is different to you. Keep your chin up. Thank you. Yeah, like today. Okay, so I go to today I went to get lunch with one of my girlfriends, and we were getting lunch before the Patriots game, and I went to see her family, and she lives in like the most insane house you've ever been in your life, like multi-million dollar home. I'm obsessed with her and her husband and her kids. They're such an amazing family. Love them. So, so wonderful. And that's like whole like suburb, like holy crap, you are really doing it. Like you are a mama three, and she doesn't work and has no pair, and like it's just in a completely different world to me. And so but we're very close, always have been. Love her. And we go out to lunch, and we were just grabbing burritos, and we're there, and she's like, so how's dating? And I was like, honestly, I liked this guy. I hadn't told any of my friends about the guy that ended things with me, after telling me he was only seeing me and only wanted to see me. But I was like, I like this guy. Didn't work out. Now, since then, I've been on like 4 other first dates. I just had another one that went south in a weird way. And she was like, maybe like, I don't remember if she used the word picky, but like maybe you're being too picky. Like, who are you? What are your parameters on your dating app? And she was like, would you date somebody younger? I was like, yeah, my thing goes down to 28. And she's like, would you date somebody older? And I was like, yeah, my thing goes up to 45. And she was like, well, why don't you put your age restrictions up to being in their 50s? And not that there's anything wrong with that, but just like the line of questioning I'm always getting is, why don't you widen your search pool? And it's like, I feel like 28 to 45 for a 34-year-old is a very large range. Like, and it's just, I always feel like my friends look at me and they're wondering, like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but sometimes things just like haven't worked out. And it makes me feel bad about myself and she wasn't meaning it like that. And she was being so lovely and trying to be helpful, but it's just like, God, like, why hasn't this worked for me? Why, whatever it is. So I did that. And then I went to watch the Patriots with my family. That was such a fun part of the day. We went and sat outside with my grandma for a while, and an aunt and uncle and cousins were visiting. And then we watched the Patriots, me, Leia, Jet, Sky, my dad. I'm very rarely home. It's a bummer because the Patriots could have won that game, but whatever. I'm very rarely home for the Pats. And it was nice to be able to just watch with my fam. It feels like, old times and like when I was growing up, and I have such a great fam. And as my sister turned to me and said, I feel so lucky that we come from a family that always says, I love you. It's just so, there's just so much love there. And that grounds me and makes me feel really good. My sister was holding my niece for a while, and I was like, I want to hold her. I never get to hold her. And so she let me hold her for like hours, and I was just on cloud 9, just like bouncing and rocking and bopping, and it was really, really fun. And then we went on a walk, my brother, sister, niece, and I, just from my dad's neighborhood, and such a beautiful neighborhood. And, again, it's so not like LA, like it's like green and yards, and people are playing on the yards out front and waving at us, and just was so nice to see everybody. And then we came back, and then we hung out with my grandma some more. And it's nice to be able to see my grandma on this side. I'm so invested and dedicated to Grammy, like full time. I don't get to see my grandma here that much. And right now she has Alzheimer's, and she is doing great, but she struggles, I don't actually know if that's fair. She's doing amazing, but I struggle with the fact that I don't get to see her enough. And she lives a beautiful life, and my dad makes sure of that and brings her 3 meals a day, and they live at the same place. So he really, really does an amazing job taking care of her, and I feel she's so well taken care of. But I want to see her more. This is part of the like, wherever I am, I wish I was somewhere else, and or I feel like I am wanted somewhere else or needed somewhere else, or like my heart's being called to somewhere else. In the super chat, thank you to Andrew Thomas. Sexy Andrew says, "Happy Sunday, Roxy. I'm disappointed that your Patriots didn't beat the Steelers. Would have been helpful for my team, the Ravens." Oh, I'm so sorry that my team couldn't help out your team. I wish that the Patriots won because I wish that the Patriots won. It's going to be a rough couple years for us, I think. Oy vey. Oy vey. Let's go back over to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What is going on with you guys in here? Thank you to those of you who've sent support so far. We're an entirely fan-funded platform, so thank you, thank you. Handsome Ransom says, "Aloha, sending love now with express shipping." Handsome Ransom, you always have the best vibes and good vibes. Yep. Just want to say everyone is on their own journey and timeline. You're still like a year younger than Bruce Wayne was when he started as Batman. Hashtag Striverse wasn't built in a day. Love you. That's so sweet. Love that. Yeah, like my friend last night told me, he was like, one of our friends asked me the other day if I feel like there's an expiration date on your career, on your acting career. And my friend was like, "And I went to bat for you." And I was like, "No, she's on her own timeline. She's killing it. Like, it's very, very difficult to have booked as many movies as she had, to have been working in the industry as long as she had, to fully financially support herself based on what she's doing. And I think she's like a fine wine and gets better with age with her roles and like, all the stuff." And he said he really went to bat for me. And I really appreciated that. But it's also like, I feel like I'm constantly being questioned. And I don't question myself because I just know it's going to happen for me. And I have like such belief that I don't want any of that energy around me. Anybody in my life who's wondering like, will she make it or whatever? It's like, get on board or get out, kind of. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Striverse wasn't built in the day. Mr. ND Fanatic in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, "Hey Roxy, I'm about to move and work for my best friend. Whoa. Any tips with having a close relationship with friends, but also working with them? Glad you had a good trip home. You deserved it." Thank you. I'm still here right now. Working with friends can be very difficult and can be very rewarding. I think that you really have to try to separate work and friendship in terms of like your ego and your visions and stuff. You have to really, really, like, when you guys are at work, don't let work overlap with the friendship. Don't let like any kind of tiffs or whatever it is run through. Work is work. Set expectations at the beginning. Make sure you understand what it is that this friend, he or she, is asking from you, and that you're able to deliver in a professional manner. And then also try to make time separately for friendship. Like when we were doing World Girls, Steph D and I, we always like would go out and then do fun activities and try to make time for friendship. Or same thing with the rejects. We're all buddies, but we all try to, like, on Monday of not this week, but next week, we're doing like a group hangout where it's not work related. It's just for friendship time. Get on board, get the fuck out of it. I know, that's right. Is that this finger cups? This, I see all of the cool kids doing this, and I'm like, I'm so dated. I don't know. I just snapped instead. But thank you for the question, and good luck and congrats on the move and work. How far are you moving? Are you excited about this? Is it nerve-wracking? And Kim in the Streamlabs says, "On the TV front, Dancing with the Stars is back, and Only Murders in the Building is great so far." I know, but I'm trying not to recommend the Disney shows. Chief of War finale rocked. I only watched till episode 3. I'm so behind on Chief of War. Should I go through? Morning show premiere was great. I agree. I love morning show premiere. I also watched Elio. Which I loved, really. Based on how you're feeling, I think you'd appreciate Elio. That's the Pixar movie, right? Also, I know a ton of Disney stuff. Oh yeah, Pixar, you're recommending. I know a ton of Disney stuff mean? What does that mean? What do you mean? In the Super Chat, Gold Standard says, "Roxy, what up? I was wondering if you heard Scream 7 is not that good." Oh, is that true? Who said that? I didn't hear that. Let me know. Tomorrow I am, or I guess I'm still on today. So then my sister and brother left, and then I, for the first time in a long time, took an hour nap. And I woke up and I ate dinner because my dad got me dinner, which is so nice when I'm here. He always gets me food, which makes me just feel like nobody ever gets me anything. So it's so nice to feel taken care of when I'm here. Just like there's like fresh fruit in the fridge, and he picked me up this Italian food that he knows I love, and it was just like, ah, it's awesome to feel like a little kid. And then I did this, and then tomorrow I am going to work in the morning for. Oh, actually, yeah, I'm going to work in the morning for Rejects. We've got some posts to do, and then I'm going to do Christian Harloff show with Roca. And then I'm leaving to go into Boston because I have a meeting about a movie. And it's cool to take meetings while I'm home. I always love working while I'm here. And then I'm going to see my sister for dinner, and then we're going to come back here. And then Tuesday, we're going to P-Town for the day, which I think I've told you guys about. Is one of my favorite places. The tip of Cape Cod. It's the gay capital of Massachusetts. It is so lovely. The streets are filled with so much love and joy and pride, and there's great food. It's I think it's a 2 hour, 15-minute drive, and it's like so fun to drive down the Cape, and just so many memories of being a kid. And I'm going to go with my dad and his girlfriend and their dog and my sister, and that's a blast. It's also Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. So I'm just thinking about different things I want to implement in my life. And then I'm going to hop on a plane and get back to LA because I got to get back to Real Rejects. So that's what I shall be doing. And not just Real Rejects, and Grammy. One of Grammy's caretakers just sent me a picture of Grammy. She's so fucking cute because they know I'm so stressed about her. Imprinted on Roxy in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, Team Stryer, spoiler warning, Jamie Lee returns in Halloween H2O, October 7 through 8 are Amazon Prime days. Great posture, and you're pretty. Thank you. It's actually really hard to have good posture in this chair, which I'm not doing. I would need to be back here. I'm like all the way up here with you guys. I watched H2O, so if you are patrons of theirs, you see we're actually like pretty ahead on the timeline. Can't tell you how I felt about it, but thank you for letting me know that. And what was the other thing that you said, Lloyd? October 7th through 8 are Amazon Prime days. Ooh, I got to start thinking about what I could get. What could I get? Got some thinking to do. Not sure. What are you guys getting for, what have you gotten for Prime days in the past? I got a really nice electric toothbrush once. That was awesome. I got a coat once, a puffer that's here, which is great. And that's, I think, my 2 Prime Day purchases ever. What have you guys gotten? I would love to get a nice vacuum, but I don't think it's in the cards this year for me. So, not participating in Prime Day. Good for you. Rock on with your bad self. How about the rest of you guys? Is anybody watching Love Island Games? Do you guys care about that at all? Oh, by the way, shout out to Steph Sabra, who she is busy this weekend and she couldn't go live before the show today, but I believe she's going live later tonight. So be on the lookout for her on her channel. Have you guys been watching her show and checking out her channel? How has it been going? Thought about buying a record player. That's fun. Love Island Games, busy times right now. Okay, but the first episode, so are you planning on watching it? I know, Leonard, I'm sorry for spoilers for you, Sam, but Charlie always gets screwed, guys. For those of you who don't watch, it's this guy who on his season, he's like my favorite. I feel like that would be the guy that I was into. Because he's such a nice, good dude. He's handsome, he's kind. Like it's a competition, but it's also about love. And I feel like he's sweet about the competition side when women like aren't doing well. He's like cheers them on and tries to support. And I just think he's so great. And then he gets totally fucked over in Love Island Games also. And I'm like, maybe he keeps getting eliminated because it's my husband. Does he know that? So Sam, oh my God, no, Charlie again, fuck that. I know. It is such a fuck that. The competitions are weird. I thought that the competitions were gonna be more like Survivor or Big Brother. They're just like the games that were on the show Love Island. They just mean something for eliminations now. RQMDSMD in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Shire says, "Hi Roxy. You are living your dream. Big break coming soon. Waiting for that Apple TV appearance on a show. Appearance/show. Happy early New Year." Very sweet. Thank you so much, RQMDSMD. I really appreciate you for that. Thank you. You're so supportive. You guys all are. The Rockstars are amazing, but big shout outs to RQMDSMD for saying that. For those of you guys who don't remember, the Jewish holidays are sundown to sundown. So the Jewish New Year is from Monday night until Tuesday night. And that's called Rosh Hashanah. And actually here where I'm from, my public school system, we are such a Jewish city that everybody has school off on Rosh Hashanah on Tuesday. And then next week, for those of you guys who don't know, is Yom Kippur, which is on the 2nd. So from Wednesday night to Thursday night, people fast, people including myself, and do all different things. And I actually, Yom Kippur is a challenging day, but it always does help me reset. And I love the Jewish holidays. It's nice to participate in them and feel bad that I'm out with Grammy for this Jewish New Year. But apparently my cousin stopped by and is in town, and he's going to stop by there tomorrow. So I'm really happy about that because I just didn't want her to not do anything. I think I'm going to send her some matzo ball soup. But the Jewish New Year, I think I've done it with you guys on World Girls before, but like apple and honey, it's all about welcoming and sweet things into your life. So have something sweet for Rosh Hashanah. I was like, what can my niece have? And then I looked it up, and you can't have honey until you're a year. But she can have mashed up apples, like applesauce. So I might do that. Oh, I'm so shipping KK and Chris also. I wasn't that happy about what KK did, but KK and Chris are so cute. Chris is also my husband. He just seems like such a great guy. I really like him. There's some good guys on the show. You know who I really like also is Johnny. I didn't watch this season, but Johnny seems awesome. Me going in and out between Love Island games and my life. Okay, we are going to get out of here relatively soon. So send in any final Streamlabs, super chats, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. I love Gen V. This season feels even more tied into the boys. So I feel like if you watch the boys, they're kind of saying you have to watch Gen V based on some of the stuff that's going on in the show. Are any of you guys watching Gen V? There was an interesting scenario on Gen V where one of the characters, actually, I don't want to give spoilers. I'll keep it vague. A character says, "I love you" after losing their virginity to the person they lose their virginity to. And the person that they said it to responds and is like, "You can't tell somebody you love them when it's the first person you've slept with." And I was like, oh my God. And the response by the person losing their virginity, I thought was so good, because she was like, "Why would you say that?" And the other person says, "Well, it's the truth." And she said, "There's a lot of truths. You could have picked another one to say," which is such a great response, because it's like, even if that is maybe how somebody's feeling, you could choose to say something sweet. Like, "It was a really nice thing to say to me," or like whatever. Like, you don't have to say, when people are like, "I said it because it's true." It's like, say something else that's true. There's many things that are true. Beer keg scene, crazy. Yeah, totally. It's a great, great show. It's not like a particularly highbrow show, like the morning show, which is great. So great. But they're both awesome. And like I said, getting out of here relatively soon. So send in that final report. I'm just getting updates from Graham's caretaker. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Grammy's just so tired. She keeps saying she's exhausted. It's like there's no amount of sleep. And I remember that feeling after the first and second time I got COVID where you like just cannot shake it. And you're so tired. Oh, you can hear my dog barking? My dad's dog barking. Cutest dog. When I first got here, the night that I got here, she sat with me for like an hour and a half. I feel like dogs can really feel energy, and then she felt like I needed some extra TLC. She's so cute. She's like this big. Little Maltese mini, I think is what it's called. Her name's Dory. Like Finding Dory. Precious. She's a really, really sweet, smart dog. Love her. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyShires, Mr. ND Fanatic says, what's one of your favorite movies about your hometown? Also, you think Kiki Palmer and Sean from Hot Ones ship? Is that what's happening? Wait, what? Hold on. Why do I never know? Kiki Palmer kisses Hot One, Sean Evans, and there's fireworks. What is happening? Why don't I know about this? From last week? There's one more thing I'd like to say. Sean, I saw an interview where you said I was your favorite guest and all this really sweet stuff. I know we've just had some wings, but I thought maybe we'd get a quick smooch to see if there's a spark. Sean blushed and didn't hesitate to accept the kiss, telling the Scream Queen star, yeah, let's do it. Wait, hold on. What? I'm watching this on no volume so it doesn't get demonetized, but like, you're kidding me. Hold on. It's not up yet. It's just an ad for Popeyes because of Hot Ones. That's crazy. Actually, oh no, it's the 22-minute episode. Okay, I'll go watch it later, but that is wild. That's wild. What I think about that, I think you just told me about it. My favorite movie from my hometown is Good Will Hunting. It's my favorite movie of all time. I love it so much. I'm glad that reaction was worth $1. You're welcome. I love when you guys tell me things. I didn't know that it was just like fun stuff. Okay. Any other shows that I'm not watching right now that I should be? I'm an episode behind on Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. I'm several episodes behind on Chief of War. What else are you guys watching right now that's good? I feel like we're in a little bit of a TV lull, but glad that Gen V and Morning Show are back. Good Will Hunting is a classic. I'll find the clips on social. Okay, I'll look for them after. I shall look for them. Shout out to Sexy Andrew Thomas, Gold Standard, Roger, Robert Presser in the super chat, and Mr. ND Fanatic, RQMDSMD, Imprinted on Roxy, Leonard Kim, Handsome Ransom, Scuba Steve, Mike Joyce for being our Streamlabsers. That you guys, we wouldn't be able to continue to do the show. So thank you for that support in the Streamlabs and the super chat. I think the time has come, my friends, for Ships and Shoes and Sealing Wax. I agree, Platonic has been awesome. Maybe I'll re-recommend that on Christian Show tomorrow for people. I think it's so good. No, I didn't see the paper. Is it good? All right, friends. Without any more questions, comments, concerns, we shall get out of here. Again, I think Steph's going to go live later, so check out our homie. And I'll be on Christian Show tomorrow. And I think I'll do a late night show Wednesday with you guys if I land on time. Almost always on rejects on Thursdays, if not a second day of the week. Yeah, usually a second day also. And I will be back with DJ on Friday. So that's a little bit about where you can find me this week and all over my social. Stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat lid. We don't want those plumes. Don't determine the Holocaust justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. It's nice to be back in a state that is so liberal. Like every person I talk to here is just, Massachusetts is just so liberal. And it's nice to be with like-minded people. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen, and golden sparkles for the Zeman himself, Glenn Caesar. Much love. Oh yeah, Tom Holland, I saw that he got a concussion filming Spider-Man. I saw that right before I went live. Seems like everybody said it's mild and he's okay, but they have stopped shooting for a couple days to reassess. There's another thing that I saw that this one was so weird. James Vanderbeek dropped out of Dawson's Creek Live. I guess he's sick, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is replacing him. Did you see that? Those are things I want to talk about tonight, but forgot. Oh no, Spidey Boy go away. Wow, way to phrase that. All right, now she's just stalling. Time to go. Much love. I'm a big Dawson's Creek fan. I never saw it. It's kind of crazy. Later, friends. Stay tuned on a Christian show tomorrow.